Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of Parasite. At first I was hesitant to watch it because it was a foreign language film, and there's more energy when you want to watch a subtitle film than a regular film, that not a foreign language film, because I feel like you have to put less focus into it because you can see the images clearly without giving your 100% focus. And you can always listen. The listening part is always constant. But having a innate focus to focus on every detail of the words, isn't the easiest thing. So when I'm to commit to a foreign language film, which I've never actually done, I've never really had the bother to watch a foreign language film, but this won awards and the Oscars was dominated. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. Don't know what it's about. I know it's called Parasite, so I'm assuming something about a parasite, more metaphorical or, real, whatever. But this film is great. This film, I don't know how to describe it. Um, there's no way to describe it without spoiling it, because I feel like part of learning about what the parasite is part of just the very synopsis, of, a wealthy family gets, a poor family gets jobs as, to kind of support the wealthy family. And I think the dividing social class of saying, hey, this is a poor family, but somehow gets to be able to help rich family, and have that coexisting relationship where the poor can help serve for the rich. And that's kind of the parasite of them kind of moving in, and kind of taking it as like their almost second home of sorts. And so, but it takes you like a good 30 minutes into the film to start to realize that. And I think, why is that the case? Because you really have to learn. Because at first you're like, okay, the son gets the job there, and then he invites his sister, to come as the art teacher. But then as soon as when he tried to get his father in, that's when I realized, wow, they're trying to get the whole family in. And that was when I really started to pick it up. That's so unique to say, okay, we're gonna get the whole family to replace all the other people's roles. But the funny thing is, they can coexist with like the rich family and the poor family, but yet the poor has to support the rich. And I think that was an interesting thing to kind of relate on. But the best parts was its originality, because every time you think where the story might be going, it changes. Because you would think the whole story might be just about the poor people, the family trying to the family that took over the jobs has to coexist with the rich family that lives in the house, right? But then it changes halfway through the film to another different thing. But it didn't feel like a jarring change because it involved the maid, and when you figure out the maid was hiding his husband, here, it would just add another layer of depth to the story. And I think that was really great, to kind of again like add that extra layer of depth. And that there was real genuine tension, where I love that each moment was a different genre, where it starts out as a comedy, then it changes into like almost feel like a heist of sorts. The middle almost feels like a heist film of sorts, because it's like it had the tension, where it's like the beginning was almost like a comedy, the middle almost felt like a tension of a heist film, even though you're not stealing stuff, from putting the underwear in in the doorway to make it seem like they had sex in the car or whatever. And what else? And then from there, putting the peach skin on the maid. And when they happen, I was like, oh man, I feel bad for the maid. And I'm like, no, I don't, because you figure out that she's a total bad person, and very, very much not a good person, and a very mysterious person throughout the whole film. And it's like constantly that ever-rolling thing, and then they add a lot of different layers, whether it be like the husband maybe not loving the wife, and you got the stuff with the daughter of the rich family liking the the brother, and you got on top of the stuff with the maid and her husband. What else did I love about this film? Because I really loved a lot about this film. The ending was great, and shocking. Even though the son didn't die or whatever, but when they threw the rock on his head, I was like, wow. And the whole sequence was so tension building. When they choke him around the neck and they hook him up and he tries to escape and all that stuff. There was really great tension. Which again, the beginning, it feels like a comedy. Then it starts to get into more of a heist feeling of a film when they try to get all the other people fired, get the other jobs fired. Then it starts into being more of a feel-good film of sorts. Then it turns into a horror thriller. Then it has some action moments, and then it becomes more heart, and then it becomes more horror and comedy and suspense and thriller. What I love about this film is its originality, but more of the originality in terms of genre. Of where this film is a genre, the Parasite genre, and I'll consider Parasite genre to be a little bit of every single genre, and not too much to that it panders to that audience. It's not too much horror that only horror fans can like it. It's not too much comedy that only people who love comedy can watch it. There's not a lot, it's not a lot of what's it called, different flashy sequences to be an action or a heist, whatever fan. It has enough heart, but it doesn't only rely on dramatic scenes, and it has enough tension and mystery. So it's like it can be a mystery film at some points. It can almost feel like a heist film, and while there's no heist at hand, it's a heist because they're stealing money. They're stealing money from the rich just by getting them fired. So in some ways, I'll consider it a heist type. And it starts to become sometimes a heist type film. But what shocked me the most was when you figure out that the son was traumatized by something, and the whole film you're wondering what's he traumatized. Then he says a ghost. But then you start to put down pictures once the guy's banging on the light, and you see the light, and the son thinks it's a ghost. You realize that ghost was just the maid's husband. And the ending really shocked me, particularly the party when they're when they all kill each other. Was shocking when they killed the daughter, and the husband just that shot will always be in my mind where the husband, the main, I would consider the husband to be the main character, the husband, the father figure of the poor family, looks around, sees everybody in shock, looks down to see his dying daughter, and sees his son being carried by the other girl, and was shocking, because this film, no one was safe and no one was guaranteed to not die, and when they killed the husband of the rich family, at first I was like, that was jarring, almost too jarring, why did they do that? Then you start to think, and when you start to really think about that, you start to realize, well, he was, I think the father's main, because I don't remember any of the characters' names, but I think the father's main motivation, I'm going to call the poor father's, I'm going to call him father, and then when rich father, I'm just going to call him rich man. When the rich father, poor father, when the poor father was looking around and seeing everybody in disarray, looking down at his wife's and his daughter's it hurts, and then all the rich guy cared about was the car keys. That probably triggered him as he saw his dying daughter. He saw his father injured, or son injured. He saw his wife injured. And, he saw the madness. The guy the guy from the basement created, and all he cares about was the car keys. On top of him always treating him with disrespect. He always, treated anyone with disrespect. I think that was another part, especially because he had seen that the guy who wanted to kill him, the guy from the basement, the maid's husband, all he wanted was respect either. So I think it was a combination of, you know, the poor getting an advantage on the rich. He only wanted his car keys, him always showing disrespect, and then also that little hint of seeds that maybe he never really loved his wife. I think that those were like little hinted seeds. But then like the very ending was a little bit weird, where it's like they talk about how they're like looking for the father, and the father hid in the basement of the house instead of just going home. So the very ending was a little bit strange, but I started to get the idea. Maybe the father was a wanted figure, so maybe he didn't want to come out, so instead just live in a basement as, you know, a non-fugitive or whatever, and just lay low and whatnot, and, you know, and hopefully, again, like the son's plan of, okay, let's all move in together at that house. So, you know, this film was great. It was really surprising at so many moments. It was really shocking at the right moments, and it changed genres and gears at the right moments. And they twisted the story at the right moments, where it felt jarring at times because of the level of shock. Because just when you think you know where the story's going, they'll be like, but you don't. And every time you think, okay, this is where a twist might happen, sometimes it plays it simple. I think when you most expect it, twists don't happen. When you least expect it, twists do happen. And I think I just love all the seeds planted at the beginning of the film and how it has, you know, effects and dividends later in the film. I think really works, and showing the contrast between the flooding, you know, poor house to the rich, you know, house that the couple lived in. I think all those different contrasts were really, really great. And, you know, and so what I defined the Parasite of the film being, into that, while yes, you could say it's the maid's husband or the maid, or it really comes down to, it's the family. It's the poor family. Is a parasite to this new family. And caused all that suffering. Because had the maid still worked there would be no need for all this killing, because there would be no need to get him out of there. So, you know, that was just a very great kind of a story that you never see too often. Because I think now, the thing is, it was so original. That's the thing. It's like, I want more movies like Parasite. I want more movies that dip into all the genres. At least a lot of genres that don't just feel like a cliche of that. And the thing about Parasite is, if you can get over that, oh, it's not in your language, or oh, it's subtitled. If you can get past that and look at the story and look at the screenplay and look at all that, besides just, oh, it's from a different country, or oh, you have to look at the subtitles. If you can look past that and just say, I want to watch not a foreign film, I want to watch a good film. So it definitely deserves all the Oscars and whatnot. I don't think it's better than, you know, Joker. I think it is better than Jojo Rabbit and Irishman. But it is a really great film. So, you know, I really enjoyed it. And so by the way, my goal in some ways is to kind of watch every single Oscar nominated film for Best Picture. Just to recap, I watched Joker, Ford vs. Ferrari, this film, Parasite, what's his face? Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, I think. Wait, so that's Joker, Parasite, Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Ford vs. Ferrari. So I watched 5. I still got 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Little Women, oh gosh, anyone else? 8? I only got 8? Wow. Okay, let's just recount. Joker, Irishman, Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Ford vs. Ferrari. Got 1917, Little Woman, and what was the other one? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's it, I think. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned for more videos. come right at you.